Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome. That's better. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the vlog. My name is Vic Barry. This video I'm going to be talking about a year and a bit with the DJI Osmo Pocket and why I don't shoot with it anymore. Before I talk about why I don't shoot with the DJI Osmo Pocket anymore, let's talk about the last kind of year and a bit that I've shot more or less nearly every single video, including talking head stuff like this with this amazing camera. And this is one of the best pieces of gadgets you can buy. It's cheap-ish, and the bang for your buck that you get is phenomenal. This thing does 4K 60 and down, it does 1080, 120. It's just an absolute beast of a camera. It's small, it's discreet. So if you are out and about vlogging and if you're kind of conscious of, you know, people staring at you and going, does that guy have a virus? This thing, it's even less noticeable than your phone. Sure, it doesn't feel like a proper camera. Then again, what are proper cameras supposed to feel like? It also, you know, doesn't look like anything resembling a camera, which can kind of swing in your advantage, as we just said. But I brought this thing all over the world. It is the DJI Osmo Pocket. It does sit into your pocket. It is tiny. I've put a ton of accessories on this, ND filters and cages and all kinds of stuff. There has been probably 0 times this has left me down. It's got a 3-axis gimbal in there. It's not electronic stabilization. It's an actual gimbal that sits inside here. And so what that means basically is you're going to get really smooth footage, even just from walking about. One of the things was it didn't always feel as dynamic, and if you're jumping around the place with ND filters, you know, you couldn't really get a variable ND filter where you could click it up or down, which was kind of a small gripe. And that was probably the only gripe I had, that sometimes it didn't feel as dynamic as it could. And of course, when you're working with stuff in a gimbal, it may not always be the best thing for you. But for talking head stuff that I shoot here, for out and about, generally 99 times out of 100, this thing blew everything out of the water. If you're kind of on the fence going, should I buy a DJI Osmo Pocket or not? Whether or not there's going to be DJI Osmo Pocket 2 come out sometime this year, I don't know. One would think there might be. Don't have any doubts. Just buy it. Just buy it. Yeah, it looks weird, but that aside, just buy it. It's an incredible piece of kit. DJI really have made an amazing, amazing, amazing camera. And as I said, it's one of my favorite cameras, one of the favorite pieces of camera gear that I've ever bought. And it's probably shot, I guess, 50 to 60% of the videos on this YouTube channel. And it just works. Anybody can use it. Yeah, there's manual settings in it. There's pro settings. You can change white balance and shutter speed and all that kind of stuff. Or you can just leave it on auto and it does a really, really good job. But I have stopped using it. One of the reasons I was starting, and this isn't the main reason by the way, one of the reasons I was starting to move away from the DJI Osmo Pocket was the fact that, you know, it was a fixed aperture essentially. You couldn't get that creamy bokeh. You couldn't get that really good depth of field at all. You could get a little bit, and it did blur out the background. But other than that, you just, it kind of struggled. That said, you could get little lens adapters for this. You could get a wide angle lens from Ulanzi had one, for example, which was just okay. They also had a macro lens, which was incredibly good. The reason I stopped using this camera, and it genuinely made me sad the day I kind of stopped using the DJI Osmo Pocket. You know, I mean, look at how small this. That's the reason why I stopped using the DJI Osmo Pocket. Probably about 2 months ago, I was shooting a video inside here, and I had this on a tripod, and it had fallen 1 or 2 times in the past, and that's the one major disadvantage. It's not exactly very durable. You've got the gimbal here, and even though it's pretty solid, and it's taken a good couple of falls, and once or twice, like, the gimbal started grinding after a few falls, purely accidental falls, maybe a little bit clumsy in my behalf, and that was it. Came in here to make a video one night and just happened to knock it off a tripod because it was in the wireless adapter, and the wireless adapter didn't really give a good solid connection. It never felt secure in there. I didn't have it on a cage. I said it's going to be fine. and it fell. And again, that grinding noise came back in the gimbal, which means it couldn't calibrate. So while it could turn on when it started going through its motions to calibrate the gimbal and get that really buttery smooth stabilization, it just couldn't do it, right? So I'm like, okay, I can fix this. The last time, you know, I read on a couple of websites and went through forums and Reddit and stuff that if you kind of pinch up here and you kind of pull things up a bit and squeeze it there and do this and, you know, give it a bang, then it will be fine. And it kind of was fine for a split second, and then turned it off. I said, okay, we're back to square one, we're okay. Turn it off, turn it back on again. And then, yeah, went back to the original problem. Can't calibrate the gimbal, reset the gimbal. So I went another bit. And then I kind of was like, well, I twist it this way. And I started twisting. I was like, oh, there's a grind. I could hear a grind. And then I heard another grind. I'm like, maybe I should stop twisting. And then I kept grinding. And then it died in my hands. What I reckon I'm after doing is whatever wires are kind of connected in here that would control the gimbal, I shear them by twisting and rotating just too much. And that's what happened to the DJI Osmo Pocket. It's not that I got fed up with it. It's not that I wanted something else, which I kind of did. I was yearning for going back to kind of a lens camera anyway for a while, but this thing was so useful when you were out and about. And yeah, that's why I've stopped using it, because it's bust. However, after shearing the gimbals, shearing the cables rather, as far as this thing is concerned, there is no gimbal now. So funnily enough, it does still turn on. And you can see on the screen, once it goes through, anytime now, Osmo, there we go. Not sure if you guys can see that or not, but it still works. So could it work as a B cam or a C cam or a bus cam? Maybe it could. However, this thing is not really rock solid anymore at all. I mean, it just kind of hangs. There is no tension in it. If I put the lens like that, you know, somebody breaks wind, it might fall down like that. So it's not that reliable. I'm really gutted that it's gone. But it has been an incredible year with the Osmo Pocket. The DJI were really, really good on firmware updates and stuff like that. Like, I'm shooting on a camera that's right now is the Sony a6600, which is now my go-to camera, which is a camera I wanted anyway for a while. That's like, you know, nearly costs 4 times as much as the Osmo Pocket. And this thing has 4K 60 and a camera that costs 4 times the amount over there. It doesn't have 4K 60, which is not a deal breaker. It's got good 1080 120, which is fine. But yeah, so that's why I don't shoot in the Osmo Pocket anymore. I made a couple of quid on the YouTube channel from the Osmo Pocket. I'm incredibly grateful for that. I had a great relationship with some companies like Ulanzi and Polar Pro, who I would have never spoken to me only for the Osmo Pocket. And the Osmo Pocket genuinely kind of helped this YouTube channel grow another little bit in the space that we're in. But yeah, I'm sad this is gone. Now, I know there's probably people going, well, why didn't you buy another one? It would have been over $1,000 cheaper to just replace this, but I just really, really and truly wanted to move back into a proper camera. Somewhere where I can change the lenses, where I can get a little bit more depth of field. But again, it comes down to it. It doesn't matter to the camera. I could be shooting this in a red camera. You guys are probably watching it on your phone. You won't know unless I tell you it's shot in a red camera. It's the Sony a6600. You don't care. So as long as the content is good, it doesn't matter what you shoot on. But if you want the best bang for your buck, this is the baby to do it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this right now. Do I, you know, use it as a juggling tool, which I can't juggle, so that's not going to be much good? Or do I sell it, like, you know, for $50 for parts? But this has been part of this YouTube journey, so I want to keep it. Like, the very first hat I used to wear in these videos, I still have that somewhere. Actually, that's probably one of the reasons there's a virus. I was just going to keep it. I've kind of got a sentimental attachment to it. You know, when you travel all over the world with this thing, and it never failed. It never failed. Battery life, even though it wasn't amazing, it was good enough. So yeah, thanks Osmo Pocket. Well, that's why I don't shoot with the DJI Osmo Pocket anymore. How much did we pay for this? We probably could have bought an Osmo Pocket for the cost of this.